Supermodel, philanthropist, and cultural innovator. She has graced the world's most prestigious runways and the covers of more than 500 magazines. Born in London, she was the first black model to appear on the cover of Time magazine, French Vogue, and Russian Vogue, as well as the first black model to appear on the cover of British Vogue magazine. In a first ever Forbes Women Africa interview, Naomi Campbell shares her journey on the African continent, her views on South Africa, and what lies ahead in the next chapter of her life.
Indeed, being Naomi, certainly taken from the YouTube channel that you've recently started in sharing and engaging a lot more with audiences more closely.
Well, good morning, first of all. I'm very honored to be here in Durban, South Africa. And when I was approached to do this YouTube, I've been approached many times to give my life to television. And I thought, no, it wasn't right. But what I liked about the YouTube is that it can engage audiences. The reach is bigger. And I care so much about reaching the continent of Africa. So that's why, one of the reasons that I took it.
I'm very happy to hear that
do
response. Exactly, because it does speak to the digital age and using technology to reach and tap into new markets, Naomi. Firstly, I think I need to compliment you on behalf of many of the women in the room regarding your headgear. It is fantastic and tied properly as ikia or idugu, as we see many of our own African mothers doing. And that certainly speaks to the relationship and the love that you have for the African continent. For many who still perhaps view this as this dark continent, one that is only known for extractive industries and values, why do you still continue to maintain your relationship with the sub-Saharan African continent?
Well, when I first came here in '93, I didn't know much about the ANC, and I was explained about it by great length by a wonderful actor called Blair Underwood, who then took me to a meeting of an ANC meeting, and I suddenly felt, oh, I'm here working, making a lot of money, and I felt that it was wrong. Anyway, I donated what I made to the ANC, and the next day I was asked to go and meet the great president, late President Nelson Mandela, who I call Granddad. And meeting him, I didn't quite know why he wanted to meet the rebel girl, because that's what I was like, why do you want to meet me? And what can I do? And he really showed me a side in the world that I didn't know, and a side that I felt committed and compelled to wanting to help and to make awareness for as much as I can. And since his passing, I really thought, now what am I going to do? Because this was a man that I would run to in times of exhaustion and need, and just knowing that I was safe. And so it then came to me that now would be the time when I would know what it was that he wanted me to do, and it would come to me clearly even more than before. And my passion and my drive is to help the great continent of Africa be where it should be, get what it deserves to have, like everywhere else in the west of the world. Education here is, for me, in my life growing up, the most educated people I've ever met come from Africa. The strongest women I've ever met come from Africa.
Sure. I thought you were about to continue on that one, and you're quite right. The opportunity that does exist on the African continent is profound. And you mentioned education. And I know that education of the girl child is something that is very critical to you.
Well, we have to keep girls in school. We have to keep them in school. We have to keep them educated so that they can learn a skill, get proper jobs, and grow up and be independent. We don't want them to rely on anyone. And, also with working with UNAIDS, it's, I know the numbers. We lose 50 girls each day from HIV. And across the whole sub-Saharan continent, we lose 460 get infected daily. So we need to also teach in the schools about being safe, about protecting oneself, so that we can lower the numbers on this continent.